Anime adaptations are an interesting bunch. Sure, we're all here because we love the medium, but it doesn't take staying too long into the fandom to see that these adaptations can be a mixed bag. Yet, translating something from novel or comic format into animation with limited airtime means that sometimes adaptations must be more pragmatic. There may be some cut corners, some minor changes, and so forth. However, these adaptation changes can range from good expansions to the existing material, or downright franchise or series killers.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Opinions on these are mixed, but for today's list, here are 8 anime I've seen that have adaptations completely going off rails at certain points. We're talking completely new arcs, major storyline changes, super questionable presentations and such. Opinions may vary, but I don't think most of the decisions on this list did the source material too good. Ready to go through a ride of some of the more notorious anime adaptations that I've watched? Well, here we go. Let's start with Akame ga Kill. Akame ga Kill had everything that would make a popular show back in the day. Great action, attractive characters falling like flies. It's an unpredictable whirlwind of chaos that didn't pull punches, and it immediately found its way to the hearts of people. It came in so headstrong and impactful, and it unfortunately led to its eventual downfall. It's got a lot of pacing issues to fix, and unlike the manga's more moderate and detailed development of the characters, the anime went all in on the fast-paced crash TV style approach. With it pumping out arc after arc, a lot of the important aspects simply just weren't there anymore. Mind you, the deaths and the fighting still made for an entertaining watch, but compared to what the manga got, it felt really lacking. It's like part of the soul of the source material was stripped away thanks to the decisions made by the anime team. Oh, and there's also the original ending. The signs were there all throughout, but the deviation did come to a head as the series approached the climax. From the same period, Tokyo Ghoul. Now this is a notorious one. The first season of Tokyo Ghoul came into much fanfare. It's everywhere and people were eating up the show in droves. In its first season, Tokyo Ghoul already felt different from the manga counterpart, especially in terms of pacing and presenting the strong emotions evoked by the manga art. That's just one of the inevitable wrinkles that happens when the transition from print to TV takes place. What isn't inevitable, however, is how the anime team decided to butcher the second season, and it just got worse and worse from that point on. Speed running through arcs, adding nonsensical plot points, changes that simply derailed the tone of the series, and seemingly directionless progression. There's just so many things wrong with the Tokyo Ghoul sequels that made them a very confusing addition to the successful first season. Even the involvement of the series creator didn't save things. And there's the classic thing about the second season additions that promptly got forgotten when the third one rolled around and tried righting the ship that shouldn't have been steered away in the first place, all in batches of 12 episodes. What a waste, right?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Next up is a devilishly familiar face for girls in the late 2000s, Black Butler. This is quite a popular show that I haven't been able to talk about on this channel, mainly because of the target audience. Still, Black Butler is a nice show that I've gotten around to watching over a decade ago, and I did enjoy it. Girls love the show for the charismatic characters and handsome lead, as well as the boys love vibes, but even guys can enjoy it for the mystery and the action, plus a very artistic presentation. Unfortunately though, half of season 1 was anime original filler. While it's not bad, and I feel that the filler makes for a nice wrap up to what was gearing up to be a self-contained first series, season 2 came. That one was a completely filler what-if scenario, and people really didn't like it back then. It also didn't help that it seemed to once again try to wrap up the story. Then Book of Circus came to adapt more of the manga, and it's presented in a way where the anime team just straight up pretending that season 2 never even existed. The fandom was still alive in the 2010s, and that could have played a hand in greenlighting Book of Circus, subsequent seasons, and the live action. Still, that doesn't change how season 2 really soured on the fans, and the hype for the series just wasn't there anymore. You can say that for any series that's been around for several years or so, but I just can't help but feel that season 2 compounded those worries.
Yes, my lord.
Since we're talking about demons and the supernatural, how's Blue Exorcist holding up? Another infamous one from the same studio. Blue Exorcist was one of the shonen hotstarts in the 2000s, joining the likes of D. Grayman, Hitman Reborn, and all those titles other anime fans might have heard of. Unfortunately, it did have the curse of having a poor adaptation. The first part of season 1 starts off fine, but they've run out of material at a little over the halfway mark and started creating filler that's just not as good. To say that it left a bad taste in people's mouths would be an understatement, and it looks as if the anime never recovered after that. Then came the second season, which made things a lot worse, even as it tried to right the ship midway into its run. It suffered the same fate as Black Butler, which is why it's the first show that came to my mind after spending my time talking about the former. It tried to salvage itself with the Brotherhood treatment, but it just didn't work out. Deviation isn't a bad thing in a vacuum. When you make original content that doesn't hold a candle to the part where you're adapting from the manga, I mean, it's easy for fans to pick up on it and pick it apart. It was such a shame to, because I'm a sucker for these modern supernatural action series. Blue Exorcist as a series, I mean, it's not awful, but you're better off going manga for this one.
Go read the fucking manga.
God damn it.
Every bloody time.
And if you laughed or got angry as I gave you memories of these shows, then feel free to like the video and give the channel a subscription while you're at it. After the break, it's time for a reset, and we're going back to the time of Dead Man Wonderland. Compared to the entries we've tackled so far, Dead Man Wonderland's adaptation failure doesn't seem as criminally awful. After all, those who've never read the manga can really enjoy Dead Man Wonderland's anime adaptation. It's not something like Tokyo Ghoul's sequels that made a mess of things by speed running through arcs and such, and as a standalone product, the Dead Man Wonderland anime is decent. However, it's when you start flipping through the manga that you'll realise how much was robbed from you. It isn't a stretch to say that the anime version of Dead Man Wonderland is of a different genre. What you have here are some significant plot points that were removed. They were left out for what reason? So there could be more focus on the action side of things. Again, not a bad decision when you think about it in a vacuum, but when you consider that what made Dead Man Wonderland so cool as a series is its terrifying visuals and a top-notch story that's keyed in on the horror side of things, you just can't help feel but wanting. The modern Berserk just sucked all the heart away from Miura's masterpiece. A modern adaptation that makes fans go berserk. I've made fun of the CG aplenty on this channel already, but for everyone's sake, you can take a look at the CG now. Can you see where this goes wrong? It's one of the best dark fantasy series out there, boasting a fantastic atmosphere fitting for the genre and some great visuals and scenery. Yeah, it's hard to take those things seriously when you have visuals this bad. I mean, it's a laughing stock, and that's no exaggeration. And that's not even considering the mess of a story we're presented with as well. Things were toned down or censored, and while it's understandable considering this is an anime adaptation, those changes just took away what people loved. But Ken Akamatsu just can't get a break, and I'll talk about Negima. While we're at it, I'll also give a shout out to UQ Holder, which, like a lot of the bad anime adaptations, attempted to cram stuff in 13 episodes, creating a weird, chaotic story that's just really different from the manga version. However, that had a predecessor, both literally as a manga and as a recipient of the adaptation curse in the form of Negima. The sad part is that the anime industry had multiple tries to get Negima right. There was a 2004 adaptation by Dean, which is already ringing some alarm bells, and a 2006 take by Shaft. The 2004 anime did the usual protocols when source material is running out and gave a filler second half. It's got a lot of fan service, adult humor and stuff like that, yet it's presented in a world that looks at home with the usual shonen hits. Plus, it was retooled in 2006 and made into a comedy with a vastly rewritten story. Looking at how awesome the two Akamatsu series are, it feels like a massive waste having them wasted on lackluster adaptations. But hey, the world was a lot different back then, and tastes and market values were different. Maybe someone could take a crack at it this time. Of course, we're saving the best for last, Promised Neverland. What a masterful disaster this was. When Promised Neverland came out as an anime, it immediately made an impact. It came out to thunderous applause as a show that mastered the use of suspense, atmosphere, and all aspects of production to create a horror anime that's wonderfully unique on its own. It became one of the most popular modern series out there, and a second season was inevitable. So, what did they do? Maybe skip arc after arc, doing an insane speedrun towards the end, as well as a slew of other extremely questionable decisions. I don't know what happened here, but the second season came out not too long after the end of the manga, so I guess they just wanted to find a way to animate the ending. Hey, at least they broke the curse of anime adaptations getting their plug pulled in like the third arc out of 8, because there's no more ongoing manga to promote. Man, this is not the way to do it, and it ruined all the goodwill the fans had of the series. You still see Promised Neverland being talked about fondly these days, 2-3 years after it ended, but the anime team just fumbled the second season so bad, it's become one of the most notorious modern adaptations out there. And there you have it, some titles that I feel were ruined or suffered due to poor adaptation. Anime adaptations don't exactly have to be a one-to-one thing with the manga, but at times, steering away from source material or adding nonsensical filler might just cause a promising franchise to crash and burn. Some of these didn't face as many repercussions in the bigger picture, but others like Promised Neverland had the hype completely die on the spot. How about you? What anime did you feel suffered a lot due to changes from the source material in the anime adaptation? Go ahead and tell me in the comments section, because I'm pretty sure there are dozens of them out there that I haven't mentioned on this list. And while you're at it, you might want to check out the other videos on this channel or follow us on social media through the links in the description. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you had a good time laughing or facepalming today's entries. See you next time.